Welcome to episode 3 of the Talent Not Included podcast. This is Manny, and I'm with
Alec over here.
and
Austin over here.
alright, you didn't have to say over here, they can't see us.
It's fine.
Alright.
Visual.
Visual.
Visually in your mind, I'm here.
Alright. So, since we're doing this late and I just got off of work, I guess we'll talk about the worst customers, each of us, or worst customer experience, whether like they made you uncomfortable or like they got mad at you or they just annoyed you. Just like what's your worst experience with that? And I guess like we'll each just say, I guess who wants to start?
I guess I'll start because you guys are looking at me.
All right. Thank you for volunteering.
Yeah,
We appreciate
volunteering air quotes. So I guess the most annoying one, I guess, was I think it was maybe a month or so after I got trained as an usher. Some customer came out of their theater saying that another customer was talking and that they were sitting like 2 rows in front of them and that there were 2 older ladies. So I was like, all right, cool. So I go in there, I stand off to the side below where they can't see me, and I hear talking. I'm like, all right. So I walk up the stairs. It's these 2 old ladies. I want to say in like their late 70s maybe. And then I forget what movie they were watching. And they just start looking at me, and I tell them about like the customer. Another customer was saying how that there was talking and that it was coming from like this general direction, and to let them know if it was them that if they could please stop. And they said okay. So I start leaving. I walk down. I'm like halfway back to the lobby when I hear "Excuse me, sir," and I turn around.
What was that accent?
Cool, my fault.
Excuse me, sir.
And I turn around, and it's one of the old ladies. She comes up to me like, "Who was complaining about us?"
Don't try and do that.
And I was like, I honestly don't really know where they're at. And then she's like, well, we weren't talking. I heard talking about somewhere above us. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, ma'am, but someone else came up to us and they told us this information. And she was like, well, you should go back in there and tell them something. I was like, well, I'm sorry, but I didn't hear anything coming from any area you're telling me. And so she's just going off on this rant of how, like, why are you telling us something when I'm hearing something, but then I know I didn't hear anything. And then, like, I'm standing there with this lady for about 10 minutes. Her previews are basically over. The movie's about to start. And that's when freaking finally Juan walks up and takes charge of this. So I was like, all right, have a nice day, ma'am. And I let Juan deal with it.
Juan was the manager at the time.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, anyone that we say, we work with them.
Yes.
I think for me, the one that made me the mad, and the one who probably
Made you the mad.
made me the mad. That's right, made me the mad.
He's so
Made me
mad, he's
the
improperly
maddest.
saying
There
it.
we go. Those are words. He made me the maddest, and I think he was probably the maddest customer I've had too. At the same time, because like he just got me heated after that for the rest of the day.
He got you heated?
Yeah, he got me in heat. But before him, it was definitely the popcorn guy. His whole shtick was the popcorn not being fresh when I literally just popped a bag for him. He asked for fresh popcorn. I said we made it an hour ago. He's like, that's not good enough. I was like, okay, I'll pop you a fresh one. He's like, all right. So I literally popped it, did it straight from the popper into the bag. Like all fresh popcorn, completely from the thing. He comes maybe 5 minutes or less after I put it in the bag, and I put it like in a popper so it didn't get like cold or anything. And he comes, I give it to him. I was like, here you go. He takes like a couple bites. He's like, it's not fresh. I was like, yes sir, it is. I just took it from the kernel or from the popper,
kernel.
the kettle. He's like, it's not fresh. I think you guys just reheated this. I was like, how do you just reheat popcorn? That's not how it works. And so he was like so pissed, like he went on a whole he's like, you think McDonald's would just reheat their fries and give it to you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's what
I'm
we're
pretty sure that's
thinking,
what
we
they do. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think that's what they do. But he he got really mad. Before, it was definitely him who was the worst. But this guy took the cake. This new guy. There's a guy that was mad that they were gonna get the new Aladdin kids combos, premium kids combos. And just as a picture, it's just basically a cardboard box with area to put popcorn in. And the part that's premium about it is it's a plastic Aladdin kids cup. That's what makes it premium. So
and it's also specially designed, so it looks different from the normal ones.
Also, the kids cup is very tiny though.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, it's kids. It's a kids combo. But so they were gonna get those, and basically he was not happy with the pricing of it. So to start it off though, I was in the back, like in the back area. And I just got called over. Someone's like, "Hey, we need you up front." Like, that's it. Like, no other details. So I just go up. They take me over to where the guy is, and I kind of got the idea, I guess, that like it was a customer that was getting mad. I was like, "Okay, here we go." So I was like, "What can I do for you, sir?" And he was so mad that he's like, "Why am I paying this much money for this? Like, this is not premium." He's like, "This is not a premium kids combo. It's like, I'm paying for the cardboard box, and what, the premium part is this little cup?" He's like, "It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous." And then he was really mad. It made him extra mad was like, we told him we can't sell him the regular kids combo because we have to sell all of the premiums before we can go back to selling those. He's like, "That's ridiculous." He's like, "That's bullshit." He's like, I need to contact, like, your corporate or whatever. He's like, I was like, "I mean, that's just our corporate rules, sir. Like, we'll get in trouble if we don't follow the rules. We're just following the rules." He's like, "You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed that you're following these rules." I was like,
You should be ashamed.
I mean, it's not that big a deal, man. And he said some stupid thing. He's like, this is a bureau thing. He's like, "I need to contact the bureau about this." I was like, "The bureau? Like, you gonna call the FBI over a kids combo, guy?" Like, but like me, like
The bureau.
like I'm not capturing his essence, right? Like, cause I'm just telling it. But like, this guy was literally screaming about this. Like, he wasn't just talking. Like, he was mad, yelling, like so mad. I was like. And I just told him, I was like, "Go ahead." I was like, "You can go ahead and do that, sir." I was like, "That's fine."
I was like, "Oh, you're such an angry little boy."
Contact the bureau, sir.
And then it's always those things too that people don't understand. Like they think since we're on Fort Bliss, like it has like military stuff applies to us, but it really doesn't. And I have tons of customers too that always like ask like, "Oh, but like this is Fort Bliss stuff." I'm like, "We're not really affiliated with Fort Bliss. We're just here." Especially with, oh my god, there's been this recent guy too. He's been reoccurring now that I see. I've dubbed him as Hot Dog Guy because he just has the worst timing ever. I think like he says he always comes. Yeah, he always comes, and he's like, "We always don't have hot dogs," because he got really mad at me the last time also about the fact that we don't sell the small popcorns anymore, like just separate and only for the rewards. But like his big thing has been the hot dogs. He's like, he always comes when we just sell them and like we just put some on, or like we have some that are reserved, and he gets so mad. He's like, he was like, "What does reserved mean? What does that even mean?" He's like, what is reserved?" I was like, "People come and buy him and they wait for him. They come get him when it's ready." And like, he got so mad. Like he's like, "I've contacted Fort Bliss so many times complaining about this." I'm like, "You complaining about hot dogs, dude?" Like,
to Fort Bliss.
Like
they
nah,
care.
they don't have hot dogs ready when I come. I'm like, what? You're ridiculous.
See, that was funny. This isn't my worst customer because it just happened today. This guy wasn't bad or anything, but Quasi sold him 2 hot dogs, and he told him like, "Yeah, it'll be about 20 to 30 minutes because these hot dogs were frozen, like they had just been thawed out." And he asked me to put them on because he had kind of a line, so I was helping him. So I put them on. About 10 minutes later, this guy comes up, and I was trying to help trying to get a popcorn or something, but he kind of just shows me the receipt for the 2 hot dogs. I was like, oh yeah, man, like it's probably gonna be like another 10 to 15 minutes because they were frozen, so they're probably not cooked all the way. He's like, oh, can you do like a? He also talked like really soft, so I could barely hear him. But he was like, can you do like a temperature check on them? I was like, yeah, I guess. So I went and I put in the thermometer. Like on the outside they look cooked, but they're only like at 95 degrees on the inside.
Delicious.
So I checked two of them. And I turned around like, yeah, they're not ready. It's definitely gonna be about like 10 to 15 minutes. He's like, well, what temperature are they at? Like, what are they supposed to be at? I told him like, well, right now, we're supposed to sell them when they get to like 140. And right now they're barely at 100, so it's gonna be a while. And then he kind of just looks at me and he's like, "Oh well, like I think the actual temperature is supposed to be like 155 because, yeah, I'm in the food industry also." I just kind of stared at him. I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna still take a while to even get to that." He's like, "Yeah," he's like, "I took the food courses," and I was like, all right, like whatever.
Cool.
He came back like another time. I wasn't back there at the time, but you know he got his hot dogs or whatever. But the worst the worst experience I had with a customer. Oh, it was a long time ago. I think it was when I first became a supervisor. I want to say it was like my first or second weekend opening concessions as a supervisor, and this lady the round had just finished. This lady walks in 15 minutes late to her movie, or like not 15 minutes late, but like previews had just ended, so she walked in just as the movie was starting, and she's looking at the wine that we have, and this was back when we only had like 4 wines. And oh no, I actually think it was less. I think it was just the Chardonnay and the
Rosé.
and the not the rosé, the Cabernet.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Cabernet and the Chardonnay. I think those were the only 2 we had at the time. And she was like, well, what wines do you have? I'm like, we only have the Cabernet and the Chardonnay. She's like, those aren't even good wines. I thought a movie theater should have good wines. And like, I thought she was joking around. I was like, oh yeah, you know, this is the only ones we have. She's like, this is not acceptable. And then I was like, oh, she's actually mad about this. And she goes up to Julia.
Shout out to Julia when she still worked there.
Yeah, she doesn't work there anymore. But she went up to Julia, and I think she was just complaining to her about all like the wine, about the prices, all this stuff. So finally, she settled on something. I think it might have been a beer, maybe a wine. I honestly can't remember. And so at the time, Julia didn't have her alcohol certification, right?
There we go.
So she couldn't pour the alcohol. So she turns around. She's like, "Can you pour this for me? I'm gonna go to the back real quick." Cause she was mad. She kind of whispers to me. She's like, "I swear I'm about to fight this lady. Like I'm gonna go to the back." And I was like, "Okay." And then so I walked to go get the wine, and so Julia goes to the back, and the customer's just staring at me, and she just said like, where'd she go? What's her problem? I'm like, oh no, she's just going to the back to restock some stuff. She's can't pour alcohol, like she doesn't have the certification, so I need to do it. And then she looks over. Oh no, she's like, well, why can't she do it? I'm like, well, if she doesn't have a certification. She looks over, she sees Paola at another register. She's like, can you pour wine? And Paula's like, yeah. So she just goes over to her to do the transaction. I was like, all right. I had already poured whatever. So I gave it to Paula. I'm like, here's her stuff. Like, literally all she had to do was pay for the stuff. So there she walks off. And about 10 to 20 minutes later, the ushers asked me if I can go to Podium to rip tickets because they had something to do. Like, yeah, no problem. So I'm there, and Ben walks up to me, and he wasn't a supervisor yet. So he walks up to me.
Shout out to Blue Shirt Ben.
He walks up to me and he just says, Yeah, this lady was complaining about this other group just like talking and like trying to like kind of saying stuff to her and her family. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, what do you do? And like he kind of directs her to me, and he's like, well, you're the supervisor, so good luck. And I'm like, all right, thanks. This was like definitely my first or second week, maybe even my second day. But she comes up to me. She tells me that this group that was sitting behind in the row behind her and her family were like arguing with them, and like I forgot the reason why they started arguing, but they're just, I think her family told them to stop talking.
I think I was there that day.
Yeah, I think you might have. I think you were an usher.
Yeah.
But like they were getting, so they're fighting with each other. This lady comes out, so I'm like, okay, guess I gotta go deal with this in the theater. I walk in there, and I was like telling them, I'm like, hey, like you can tell that they were ready to like start telling me something like, no, it's them and all this stuff. I'm like, look at, I don't know what happened. I just know she came and said something. Do you think you guys can just move down to the other side? Like, why do we have, and they're like, why do we have to move and all this? So it was like a whole thing. Finally got them to move. I said, if I have to come back, I have to ask you guys to leave. And then I go to the lady, I'm like, look, they're saying that you were harassing them also. So just to be fair, I'm telling you guys the same thing. If they come out and complain about you guys, I'm going to have to ask you guys to leave. So whatever. Right after that's dying down, that same lady that made a big deal about the wine was in that theater, and she turns around and starts trying to shush me. She's like, there's a movie going on. You guys need to be quiet. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I have to deal with this. And then, like, they kept, like, this family kept arguing, so I was, like, trying to, like, tell them, like, you know, it's just, like, whatever. It's dealt with. Just try and watch the movie. And again, she turns around, she's like, I'm watching a movie. I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, I'm sorry, okay?
I think I walked in around this point.
So finally, I leave. And then she walks out and she's like, that movie, I forgot what movie it was. She's like, that movie was so good. I'm so sorry I was so mean to you guys. And she just walks away. I was like, alright, I guess.
God.
That's crazy.
I was working that day. I do remember that. I was doing restrooms, I think. That's why I was gone. Most of it.
I don't think I've ever had any in theater, like, having to tell someone stuff in the theater, like, the actual theater, like, doing a check. Like, I don't think I've ever had to tell someone to, like, get off their phone or stop talking. Anything like that.
Dude, that actually reminded me. There's another customer. I swear. It wasn't as bad as that lady. But I walk into the theater, doing a theater check. This guy's on his phone. I'm like, so I go up to him like, hey, I just have to ask you if you can get off your phone. You know, previews have started. So, you know, I have to ask you to get off of it. And he just looks at me like, what? He's like, you're telling me to get off my phone? I'm like, yes. He's like, you're telling me to get off my phone? I'm like, yeah, I am. He's kind of just like, I don't know, like a weird laugh or whatever. I don't like, and so he got off it. I walk out, and then as I'm like walking out to go do a different theater check, he comes out and he's like, where does it say I can't be on my phone? And the door was closing behind him, and you know it has a small sign that says like, please stay off your phones, we have the right to like ask you to leave without a refund. And I was just like, right there. And he turns around and he goes up to read it, and then he just like kind of scoffs at it and then like goes back inside. And then I go back in to do another theater check to make sure that he was still off his phone. And when I go in there, like, him and his entire row of friends were just like staring at me, like if I was gonna tell him something. But like none of them were on their phone, so I just left. But like, I don't know what that guy's deal was. Of like, I'm like, you're not the king of the universe. Get off your phone. Like, you're not special.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. That's kind of weird to think though. Like, cause like when I was like in middle school, I used to think like employees at like movie theaters and stuff like that were like so much older.
Yeah.
Than, like,
honestly.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were like in their mid-20s.
Maybe Carmike was though.
No,
back
because like
in the day.
I mean, I think about it, and I don't think they were. I remember a lot of them
I
being
think
like
I was
kind of
just
young.
young.
Yeah, I think it was just in my head. I'm like having a job was so like
An
I
old
guess
person
so.
that's an
thing.
adult thing to do.
Ew.
And then like I look at the people we work with, like they're 16, and I'm like, why are you here?
Dude, you know what's funny though? I remember there was like this lady that I remember just seeing like back when we went to the movies, like middle school, like maybe even before that, like a lady that worked at Carmike. Or like, I don't know, maybe not a lady, maybe she was a girl at the time. I don't know, she might have been young. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But it's just funny because like I saw her there like a lot, like several times, and like not really recently, but within this like 2018, 2019, when we went to AMC, she was still there. Like I had seen her over a few years still working there, but like
Was,
I
was, she,
went
was
and
she like
she
a
was
short
still
lady
there.
with like short blonde hair?
and like glasses.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, yeah, she went to our theater once. And
I did see
yeah,
her there.
and then I think Quasi tried to sell her a rewards card, and she said, "Oh no, I work at a different movie theater. I don't need that. I'm only here because like, I think the person she was with, like lived on base or something." She's like, "Yeah, no, this is like I'd never come here." She's like, "I work at another theater."
Dude, like, I swear she's been working there since I've been going to the movies. Like she's worked there.
I mean, probably. I mean, there's people at our theater that like have worked there for a while.
Yeah.
What is it? Who's been there since opening? Eric?
Juan,
Juan?
Talia,
Talia
Dan.
was like a year after, wasn't she?
No, I think you got him confused. Eric was there a year after.
Oh.
And then Dan
Dan.
and Chris.
And Chris.
Yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, I think that's just weird to me. Like thinking of how I thought they were all like adults with like I don't know, like none of like in my head like they all were in college or out of college with degrees like
Yeah.
and then I'm like oh no just
Like
like it's just teenagers working here.
yeah. Like not that much older than us. Probably when we actually went.
Yeah, that's weird to think of like how long ago that was.
Yeah.
Like what were we when we started hanging out like actually like hanging out and like going out. I think I was 13 and like
Probably like 12 to 13.
Cody was 11.
That's weird to think about. Like
Yeah,
it's weird to think about both ways. Like the older numbers where it's like you're gonna be 21 while he's still 19, but also those
God.
kind of numbers like you were 13 when he was 11, right? Or, like you were 11 when he was 9. Like that's just weird.
it's weird to think like how long I've known you guys. Like
Sad,
it's especially yeah. It's a shame I didn't make other friends. No, but like
Big shame.
yeah, like Austin, like I met him when I think we were 11, and
Well, you were 11.
I was 11, he was
I
10.
was 10.
Yeah,
Old
'cause
boy.
we met in the 5th grade, but we like didn't talk to each other, and then did not talk to each other all of middle school,
Because, never
Yeah.
seen each other.
and then like I just become friends with him,
Second
second semester of freshman year,
of high
yeah.
school.
and then like you, Cody, and then like Alyssa, Jocelyn, Imani.
Just name dropping
Yeah,
everyone.
Zach, everyone like I've just been friends with like you guys for like Cody. I don't think I said Cody. Cody.
You said Cody 3 times
Did I?
now.
Oh, Cody. Like it's
Cody,
just
Cody,
like
Cody.
I've known you guys for so long. Like I think, I think it'd be weird, like to not hang out with you guys. Like it's weird now, considering like we all have like our own things going on. Like it's weird not hanging out with you guys, but at the same time it'd be even weirder if like I just never hung out with you guys like ever again. Like that's just like weird to me.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the end.
No, like I remember our freshman year. Actually, it might have been like the summer going into freshman year, when we started like our first like group chat with all of us,
Yeah.
and we had like this big plan, like oh yeah, when we're older, we're all gonna like live together, have
the
this
Skype.
like yeah.
Was it MS Paint? Is that what you guys did it on? Or like Cody like drew
Oh, it was
the
Yeah.
me and
house?
Cody. We
Yeah,
drew the house.
they drew a house of like where everyone would be. Like we were all talking like yeah, we're gonna all live together, and like now we rarely see each other. Well, like
Well,
the three of us, like, we work
yeah,
together, but and
especially
like
Cody.
yeah, Cody has like all his band stuff. You know, he's gone for the summers, and then, you know, Alyssa has her job and school. Jocelyn has her job. Imani has school and like track stuff like that. So like, I mean, it's just weird that like we rarely see each other. Like, I think it's been like almost a year since all of us have been like in the same room with each other.
Yeah. I know. So, yeah, I met Manny in 6th grade for sure. It was like the whole GT gifted talented, like it's just a group that you were always with, so you're like coerced into being friends.
I was tricked.
You had to pick someone.
No, I remember I didn't want to be there because all my friends from elementary school went to Canyon Hills.
Canyon.
Yeah, like Austin, except he wasn't my friend, but he went there.
Yeah.
But
He
yeah,
was
like,
there.
I
like all of
attended
them.
this school.
See, that's another weird thing to me. Back then, I thought those were the guys I want to be hanging out with in middle school and like going to high school with. Like, I don't talk to any of them. Like, the only one, maybe like Danny Arispe, shout out to him. Yeah, he's probably like the only one that like every once in a while I'll still like say hi to. Like, we'll talk. But everyone else, I just don't talk to them. Like, I'll have some of them on social media, but like I never try and message them or anything.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so we were in middle school. So that's when we met. Became friends through that. So you guys met in elementary.
Yeah, but
we weren't really
yeah,
friends.
We really met through orchestra.
We knew of each other.
Knew about each other.
Yeah, we knew the other
We
existed.
had similar friends, but
Yeah.
we weren't friends.
like
Yeah.
like I knew some of his friends, he knew some of my friends, but like we didn't really know each other or were friends with each other.
Yeah, so I know. So you guys were like actual friends, like freshman year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know around freshman year it was like Manny was like, he kept telling me, I think it took a while, but like he kept telling me, he's like, dude, like download this game, League of Legends, like come play with me. Like I was like, all right, I'll see, maybe. I think
Because
it
this
took
was
a
back
while.
this was back when you were just on Xbox playing Call
Yeah.
of Duty.
Pretty much. That's like all I did, like for at least playing games wise. That's probably all I played all the time. And so yeah, I was just like, hi. You're like, dude, like go on your computer, it's free. Like download League of Legends, come play with me. I was like, I'll see, I'll look it up, I'll think about it. I feel like it took a solid like.
It probably took a month
Yeah,
because
probably
me
a
and
month.
Cody were, because I convinced Cody to play, and the two of us were trying to get you to play.
Yeah, so yeah, it definitely took like a month, and I was like, finally at some point, I was like, all right, I'll download this. So I downloaded whatever, and at this point, freshman year, I knew Austin. Like
we
we
sat
were
next to each other in engineering.
Yeah, we were engineering together and biology.
Biology.
Anatomy,
Biology.
wow.
Yeah.
Taking a seat
That's
there
right.
as a
So, like-
junior class, I don't know.
Yeah, we had biology, but like yeah, like the most time we had interaction with it was engineering because we sat
Mr.
right
Cruz
next to each other
put us right next to
Yep.
each other, and we stayed there
the entire
all
year.
year.
He would literally shuffle everyone around us. Like there's just times like some teachers just like to have like a random, like not for a particular reason, like just because these people are talking, so I want to move people. It was just like he had that random times where like some teachers just like to randomly change things up, move people. He did that like for literally everyone else, but he always kept me and Austin in the same 2 seats, right next to each other. He never moved us.
It was also in the corner, like right next to the projector, so I couldn't see the screen that well all year.
Yeah, it was like it's like okay, the wall is there,
like right,
and then
right to our left.
that's where the projector is like beaming onto, where the screen comes up, and it's literally we're like right like parallel to it on the right hand side to
Yeah.
it. Like our desks are up against that same wall, so it's like
we always had to scoot back
had
to
scoot
see
the
it,
chairs back all the way back to see
and the
on
whole
there.
class would always look at us.
You know what's funny that I just thought about?
Huh.
There's a picture of me, you, and Anna together, all
Superman?
wearing Superman shirts, and I just remember we had another class together from first semester, but
Did
we
we?
never talked.
What
We had
class?
we had human geography. Cause that's
Did
where,
we?
Yeah, cause that's where we took the
With-
picture.
With Mr. Reed?
Yeah, we had that class together, but we didn't talk to each other.
I remember I just kept falling asleep in that classroom. Mr. Reed would keep telling me to wake up. And Mr. Doherty, have you finished taking your notes? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
You
continue. Continue what you were doing.
Yeah, but so yeah, like I kind of like when me and Austin like knew each other. I feel like at that point we were like in class friends.
Yeah,
Like,
because
at least
we
for
would complain
engineering.
about
Yeah.
Mr. Cruz all the time.
Yeah, it was a mutual hatred for the guy. So like that's where like we kind of like
I think that was a
started
class-wide thing, though.
yeah, that was a whole
Mutual
thing.
hatred
Everyone
for him.
mutual hatred. So like that's where like me and Austin started connecting as friends, and then yeah, it was like after it was like Manny's like download this game. Like I finally did it. I got on, and like I don't even think I knew you knew Austin at that point. Like
No.
Yeah,
you
you,
guys
you
were
didn't know.
friends.
You didn't know
It
that
took
me and
until
him were
second
friends yet.
semester.
yeah, so like I didn't even know. So I finally got the game. We hopped on Skype. It was what we used at the time, all the time.
Skype.
And then I just saw like I was like, oh, like Austin's here. I was like, wait,
Austin?
Manny knows. I was like, Austin. I was like, Manny knows Austin. I think you like introduced me to him too. I was just like, I mean, I know who he is.
I was
Like,
like, yeah, I know Alec. I
I
have
have
class with
class.
this guy.
and then like that's just kind of how everything started, I guess. Like from that point, and it was like honestly, it was a real addicting game, I guess, for us at the time because like that's literally what
It
we
was
did.
something different.
Yeah, like, especially for me, like, I had never really played, like, PC games before. Like, it was just straight Xbox before that. Like, that's all you did, like, console games. Like, so it was, like, a new thing for me with PC games, and, like, it was, like, a drug for us, I guess. Like, literally every day
I
after
don't know.
school.
I don't. Oh, okay, yeah. That was that bad.
Maybe not for you as much.
No, I mean like it was pretty bad for
Like-
me because I remember sophomore year. I think that was our worst year when it
Of
came to
playing?
like playing
Oh,
video games
it definitely did.
because we would literally go home, and the minute all of us were all home, we would just be on the computer playing
Yep.
League of Legends
Skype.
until like midnight.
Yep.
And the thing that's the worst about it, we never got any better. Like we
No.
like as a team, like you guys got better. I just suck at video games. You guys definitely got better, but we never progressed as
Yeah.
a team.
See, but the thing is, too, is, like, we definitely got better for sure, but, like, it wasn't even, like, an exponential amount, like where you would think from, like, for how many years we've played the game, you would think it'd go from, like, the rankings from being
You-
the lowest to, like,
You
at
would
least
think I wouldn't
mid-tier.
be in the lowest tier rank after playing since the 7th grade. You wouldn't think that, but I am
Yeah.
because I'm just terrible at the game.
But, yeah, I know, like, sometimes it would be, like, I think Manny started off, like, the funny thing is Manny is the first one to play the game. And, like, get
Facts.
everyone into the game. And the fact that he's still the worst, at least ranking-wise.
Well,
But-
also like because I stopped playing the game as much as everyone else did first.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I was playing anything else. I honestly don't remember. I just know I started doing I would play other games. I don't remember exactly which ones, but I started doing other things. Well, like the three of you kept just grinding on
Yeah,
that
we
game.
just kept on it.
Like I never play ranked games. I rarely get on the game now. Like it's like I'll play like maybe 10 games every 3 months and then not touch the game for another 3 months. And that's why I'm not going up in rank for that game
Yeah.
at least. But yeah, I think that is funny. And another thing is like I have like maybe 4 accounts. Two of them because like I just forgot what the login was. So I'm like, oh, I guess it's time to make a new account. And that kind of held me back a lot.
Yeah. But I know it's just funny though, like, because yeah, you got us into got all of us into the game basically. But then like we ended up playing it like way more
Yeah.
than you. It's just like
It's like that time. That's like those situations where you introduce one friend to another friend,
And
and
then
they
they
become
become best
become
friends?
better friends than
Yeah.
you are with them.
that's pretty much what happened. 'Cause I think I had that type of mentality already like kind of pre-planted though, like for getting addicted to like one game. Cause like I mean like really like all I used to play for that was like just Call of Duty and like yeah they were all technically their own different games. It was still the same game really each time. Like they just change it up, which basically is the same thing as League.
I think middle school you would like die if you heard you saying that.
Yeah,
That they're all the same game.
they're all the same. It really is.
I've been telling you that since like middle school. And you're like,
It
no,
is.
no, they're not. Like, here's the new one. I'm gonna pre-order it. I'm like, why? It's the same game. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I definitely see that now. But like, League is almost similar in the way, like the way they have a new game every. Well, Call of Duty has a new game every year, and they just like they change it up a bit, like the look, like some of the things, and like League is almost the same. Like it's just like they have like at least every like month or less than a month they have a new patch where they like change things like nerf buff whatever. But then, like, every, like, while, too, they, like, do a massive overhaul or something. Like, they completely change the game. And it's like...
Like, maybe
so it's
once
pretty
or twice
similar.
a year, they do a big change.
Yeah. Or, like, constantly adding new champions and stuff that, like, changes it up. So it's, like, it's pretty similar. But so I think I was already, like, kind of programmed to, like, do that. Like, take one game and just play the crap out of it, like, for a long
like,
time.
Now that I think about it, like, I think it's funny how, like, I would criticize you for that. But I remember I like, would play the shit out of, like, Pokemon games. And those are the exact same.
Yeah?
Like, they add, like, small features. It's been a while since I played one. They are, like, add, like, small features. But it's the same thing. You just walk around an island, beat some people with some animals, and you become the champion of the world.
Yeah. But I mean, it's something about those kind of games, even
Yeah.
though they're the same. It's like, it's the fact that it's the same. That's why you like it.
I just think I was just hooked because since I was a kid, I used to just like wake up every Saturday and watch Pokemon, and then I had like Pokemon VHS tapes, and I would just watch those all day, and like the Pokemon movie. I don't know how many times I've seen that one. Just because, like, that was, like, my favorite movie as a kid next to, like, the Power Rangers movie.
I think, for me, my big thing as a kid was always, like, Legend of Zelda stuff. Like for, like, Nintendo games, at least. Like, that kind of stuff. Because I basically started out with, pretty sure it was, like, GameCube. Probably GameCube games for it. And it was probably... I remember it was it was like a value pack, like, disc or something. It came with, like, the original Legend of Zelda on it, and then it was, like, I think it was, like, Majora's Mask, and it had like, a 20-minute demo of Wind Waker.
And you would just play that over and over?
Yeah, just play it.
Yeah.
It's like you try to get as far into the game as you can before it, like, kicks you out. But, like, that's where I started. Like, Majora's Mask also, like, it would always creep me out, like, it's just creepy to me. Like, you got creepy vibes from that game. But they eventually, like, actually bought the actual Wind Waker game. And me and my sister were, like, so obsessed with it. That, like, so, like, basically how the game is, like, it has a map, like, you hit the start button, it shows you the map, and it's, like, a C chart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, each chart is, like, it's, like, I want to say maybe, like, a 16 by 16 chart, and, like, each 1 by 1 is a square. There's, like, a square in each spot that's, like, 1 by 1. And there's, like, 64 squares in it. And each one is, like, to represent a different island in the game. And, like, you get it, but it's, like, you have to find the maps or something like that to actually fill it in. Like, fill in where the islands are and what they're called and stuff. Like, me and my sister literally, like, drew it out, like ruler and everything, lined it up 1 by 1, like, squares, drew the islands.
You know what this nerd did? He printed out 8 pages from Wikipedia of Harry Potter spells.
Okay, that was, like, 3rd grade. That was 3rd grade. I was obsessed. I was obsessed with it.
I remember the first time I heard that. Oh my god, I was dying. Like, I've done, like, a lot of nerdy things, but I don't think I ever print out 8 pages of Harry Potter spells.
Dude, the best part, too, I would bring it to school, too.
Oh my god!
I staple it together and be, like, flipping through them all.
See, like,
great.
I'm thinking of, like, funny things that would happen in school. And my favorite moment is of Abby. Shout out to her. Another one of, like, our friends since, like, middle school. It's also weird that I don't hang out with her as much anymore. Kind of sad. Anyway, anyway, my like favorite memory of her in like back then is, well, we used to like sit next to each other, and like that's how we became friends. And I remember me and her were like bonding over the bands that we would listen to, and like they're like old school like rock bands, stuff like that. So we were like talking about that, and then I remember we got moved because I think it was just like every like time the report card came out, our teacher, Mr. Lopez, one of the greatest teachers ever, like would move us. So I got moved, and I remember we were taking a test, and so I finished, and I was just kind of like looking around, and I look over, and I just see her making a bunch of faces, like just random faces, like she like of different expressions, like she was scared or like she was happy, like shocked, just weird faces, like making them at her notebook, like she was staring at her notebook, making those faces, and I'm just like kind of staring at her for like about 15 seconds until she like stops making a face and she looks over and sees me, and then we just both start laughing. I was like, in my head I was like, what's wrong with her? Like that's just like funny because I know I've done like a lot of embarrassing things, especially in like middle school, like some even in high school, but like it's like just funny to like think about, like all that like embarrassing stuff that happened back then, and like looking back now and being like, what was wrong with me?
Yeah.
Like when we were doing videos in 8th grade
Those are my favorite.
of like just different topics, and I forgot it was Abby's group. It was her and Alyssa and someone else. I can't remember who it was, but they were doing I don't know, some like murder mystery, I think, or some video. And at the end of their credits, it was me in a duck towel. Like pretending to fly across the classroom, screaming super duck.
I think I was in the group. I think that
Was
was
it
part
you?
of my video too.
Yeah, I just like remember that being shown to the whole class at the end, and like, but we were in different class groups. Cause I think I was like in group B, and you guys were all in group A.
Yeah.
And I just remember everyone from group A like coming out of that classroom while group B was waiting to go in, and all of them were just like laughing, and they're like, "What's wrong with you? Like, why'd you do that?" I'm like, "Oh, that's funny." And then like I think I still have the video, and one time I was watching, I'm like, "Oh my god, that's weird. Why'd I do that?"
I loved making those videos. Those videos were always fun, like to do. People got way too serious in GT though. I mean, me included sometimes.
I didn't care.
Like with in our humanities in 8th grade. I don't know if you remember.
Oh yes, I
Yeah,
remember.
Austin, you were there, weren't you?
Yes.
You was group
Yes,
C.
C.
Yes.
Group C.
Because I saw everything.
Maybe S.
Wow, wow, maybe not. Maybe group Z after that one, because you saw everything.
Yeah.
Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say Group S because he's a little special. But
I think he's a stupid.
Well, technically, we were special ed.
I
That
guess
like
you were.
we were classified as special ed
Yeah.
because it was a special curriculum. So like if you looked under special education, we were there.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, but if in Miss Brindley, she did she made a game out of it. It was like a long list of vocabulary of just like random history, vocabulary, people, like, and the like definitions basically. Of like just a ton of stuff. It was like
we
a
never
lot.
did stuff like that because she hated our group, but
Really?
yeah, she didn't like us as much.
Yeah, like it was like a ton of definitions. And she basically just gave us like, I think it was like in the form of a packet. She just gave it to everyone. She's like, just study these, like try to memorize them, whatever. And then she eventually made a game out of it where like you would, like she just split the entire class in half, like 50-50 on each, and like each side just made a line. And then she had just like a little table in between them, and she usually put like a small stuffed animal there or something to act as like a buzzer. And
Oh wait, no, we did do that, but that was for like the only time I remember doing it is when we were doing like kind of rotations between all the history teachers.
and I was like, she just
Yeah.
did it for us
Oh
sometimes.
no, yeah, we rarely did that.
Yeah, because So yeah, she just put like a stuffed animal in as a buzzer basically, and so at that point like she gave us, well, it was an adequate amount of time to learn the vocabulary. Maybe if you weren't like super into it, you definitely wouldn't know all of them because there's a lot. But because like we were so like the group of people like I was like studying them with were so obsessive with it, like we literally burned it into our brains, like every single one. I know it was me, it was Zach, Cody, and it was Rosario.
You guys are nerds.
Yeah, we would finish our work, like whatever we were doing for that day, we'd finish it as soon as possible. And then you know how sometimes she would let us go to that empty room, like if we were gonna film something, like normally it's for filming.
That sounds weird, but yeah.
I know, that does.
We go to the empty room to film with each other.
There was a couch there, that was it.
There's a black leather couch. That's all I remember.
It was a white
like-
room,
like-
leather couch, nothing else.
Yeah,
A
but
single camera.
tripod.
On a tripod. Some random dude was in there.
Asking us if we wanted a job.
Yeah, I forgot his name though.
Yeah, but it was just like an empty classroom nobody used that she would let people use in their free time to like film for the video projects that we had to do. And so we would finish she loved us basically, like especially us four, like she just loved us so much. So we would we would finish all of our work as soon as possible, and we go, and then she'd let us go over to that room, like just us four, just to study the words. Like we would just like have someone be a reader for a while, and then like everyone just goes at it to, like try to do the words. So basically through that we just learned them all by heart. And so when we did the games, she made sure she split us four up evenly between the two teams, so that it was 2-2. Like 2 of us were always on one team, 2 on the other. Never like an uneven amount, like 3-1, or definitely not 4 and none on the other, because she knew for a fact that we knew every single one like instantaneously too. Because the big part of the whole game was like also being the first one to grab the stuffed animal, because it's like that's the whole thing. Even if you figure it out, like, but you're just too slow, then it's like, oh well. So I know it was so stupid because she knew we knew them like so well. When we would pair against, so it's just basically you just go on the line, like you go one at a time as you go through the line. You know, as you do, when you do it, you go to the back of the line until it gets back to you. And so whenever one of us four would go against someone, and it wasn't one of the other people that she knew them all, she would cheat for them. It was stupid. She would try and cheat, and it would still fail, because it was either she would try and whisper them the answer or something. One of the worst parts she would do, she would take the stuffed animal herself and not let us grab it because we knew the answer, and then she was trying to wait for them to try and figure it out. A lot of times they couldn't figure it out, and she was trying to whisper them the answer and then hand them the stuffed animal. But like the most common one she would do was I think she would just whisper them the answer, like tell them the answer, but they just wouldn't grab it fast enough anyway. So we would get it, and we would still get the answer. But I remember I was so mad when she would do that. It's like, this is stupid. Like, why are you cheating for them? But like if it was like one of the people that knew it, like it was a all out war. It was just about speed. It was not about like we knew the answer. It was just first to grab.
I'm gonna be honest. If my class did that more often, honestly, I'd be able to demolish all of them in it. I just didn't like her, and I didn't care enough. But if it came down to it, I probably would have like easily demolished my class. Like, not saying they're dumb, but like,
well,
they're Group B, you know.
B.
Not seen any
For
middle
bum.
school stories.
Yes. I remember one time we had this new building. It was called Building C. I was in Canyon Hills, by the way.
Oh, because you were Group C, so you were in
yes.
Building C.
Building C.
Yes.
That's why we didn't see
There was the ABC schedule. Anyways, new building C, 8th grade. There's my friend Gabriel. I don't know what he was thinking, but like our administrators got mad at every little thing that happened in middle school. So he decided one day, big brain move. He went down the stairwell, the very first one. He looked at the drywall that was in front of it, like halfway down. He kind of just like reared his arm back and just punched it as hard as he could. So there's this big hole in the drywall now. And then he kind of just took his hand out. And then an administrator saw him do it. And he immediately like got suspended for it. I thought that was hilarious.
Oh my god.
Good-
I
good story.
hated middle school like administration and like principals and stuff. Like, oh my god, I remember.
One last thing. There was also
Yeah, Alec.
Yeah, shut up,
Come
Alec.
on.
Idiot.
Come on, gay.
No
Austin.
one likes your stories.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Austin.
Thanks. Austin, your turn. So I remember this one time. It was right in the morning when I got to school. And there was a whole bunch of kids who like lived like in the blocks that were around it, and a lot of them were emo for some reason. So like I remember this emo group of kids standing at the side of the band room next to the rocks. They have like a plastic Walmart bag in their hands. They're passing it around, and I like kind of look over at them, and then I go back to the band room and I ask my other friend. I was like, "Hey, do you know what these guys are doing out there?" He's like, "Oh yeah, dude, they're huffing paint."
Huffing paint.
They're just huffing paint out there, you know.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, like I remember I was pissed one time when so like our middle school, Nolan Richardson, they were just really strict on their
For like
uniform.
no reason.
Yeah, it was pretty dumb. Like just uniform, and it got stricter as like the years went on. Like they just kept adding new things. And I don't remember what grade it was in, but I know Cody one day didn't bring his belt. Like he didn't wear his belt, so he got lunch detention. And that was their big thing. Like
He
anything out of
deserved
uniform, lunch detention. I did not deserve it. It's stupid.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
That story was
It
told
was-
in the first podcast, wasn't it? Was that told in any podcast?
No.
This story? No.
No.
No, the other one.
Way to derail everything.
Wow. Now
The
we're-
moment is ruined.
I know.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, like Cody got lunch detention for not bringing his belt, because they're like that's basically what you always got, like out of uniform, lunch detention. That's pretty much what it was. And so I remember we finished lunch and everything at our circle table that we always sat at every day.
Gang.
Shout out to table.
Shout out to the table.
Way to go. So we're just walking out, and basically the way the lunchroom is set up, it's like it's the entire like main hub where everyone's at, and then there's like just like a back part, like it was like where a stage would go, but like it was just closed off, and then behind that is where all like the detention is, like the lunch
The
detention.
degenerates
Yes.
would be, as
It's
we like to
accurate.
call them back then.
And so basically to exit, well, you didn't have to go this way, but
Yeah,
we just
went that way.
We just went that way that day. The way we exited, the doors were open and you could see into the lunch detention room. And as we were walking out, I look in there because I was like, oh yeah, Cody's in there. That's why he wasn't with us today. So I look and I see Cody, and I'm like, I look at him and he looks at me, and I just pointed at him and I started laughing. I was like, ha ha. He's like, loser. And I think it was the assistant principal.
No, it was the lunch detention administrator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just come up to me. They're like, oh, you think it's funny, huh? He's like, why don't you get in here? You want to be in here? Come on in. And I thought they were joking at first. But, like, no, like, they're like, come on, you're like, they sent me to lunch detention. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, all because I was, like, laughing at, I mean, it was karma, I guess,
Yeah.
for laughing at him. But you know what? I got good karma because I found $2 on the floor that I could take to the snack bar that day.
Wow.
So-
Wow.
Hey man, middle school
I
snack bar
know.
was the
our,
shit.
Our snack bar was pretty
At the time, that was the best thing ever.
It was.
So like,
Now thinking back on it, it was sad and pathetic.
I have one more story about middle school. I guess like before we cut it because it's been going on for a while. doesn't even feel that long. But it was probably like this is the moment I look back on the most, and I just think what was wrong with me. So it wasn't anything that bad, but it was when I'm not gonna say their name, but it was when I was asking out my first girlfriend, and so it was after school. Like, me and her had, like, kind of been, like, flirting with each other before then. If my mom is listening to this, didn't have a girlfriend in middle school, this is all a lie. But if you're not, this isn't a lie.
Mom, close your ears.
Mom, please cover your ears. No, it's not that bad. Anyway, like, we had, like, been flirting kind of with each other for, like, about 2 weeks or so. So I forgot who it was. But someone's like, yeah, just, like, you know, I think she likes you, just ask her out. I was like, I don't know. Like, I've never asked a girl out or anything. Like, just do it. I was like, okay, I got this. So it was after school. I was like, the entire day I was playing my head, like, okay, I'm going to do it after school. I'm going to do this. But I had forgotten that we had a jazz band practice after school. Something that I never went to ever again after that day. But, so she's walking in the hall, and I'm kind of walking with her, but I'm running late to jazz band, and I knew our teachers would get mad at me if I was late. So, like, I was walking next to her, and, like, really nervously, I was like, hey, do you want to, like, go out and be my girlfriend? And she's like, yeah. And then so what I do, I kind of give her this awkward side hug. I'm like, okay, cool, I gotta go. And I just ran to the band room. But like,
Okay, cool, I gotta go.
As I was like walking away and turning the corner, it's over in the corner of my eye, she was kind of just like, I guess, okay.
Cool, gotta go.
Cool, I gotta go. And I like ran to the band room.
Gotta blast.
And I still don't know how to ask out girls now, so.
Same.
Yeah.
My very first girlfriend, I didn't even ask her out.
What?
Okay. Okay, I guess this will be the last one because this is interesting.
This is getting
No,
into
yeah.
legals. I didn't think you might need a lawyer.
I just
before.
claimed her as my own.
And you might want to get your attorneys ready before you started that story.
Nothing so drastic. God. No, so I was talking to her, I want to say it was probably a month. And my really close friend at the time in middle school, we were both all three of us were in band. And so he was telling me, yeah, man, just come on, go ahead and ask her out. Like, there's no problem, no big deal. You can do it. I was like, nah, no, I don't know. I'm not too sure about this. He was like, oh, come on, man, do it. I was like, I'll consider it. And then we all had a science class together. And it was like 2 periods before we let out. So it was like 7th period. And so I'm sitting there doing my work. He says, all right, I'm going to go do something. Because he sat right next to me. So he got up. I was like, all right, cool. He walks off. Like 5 minutes later, he comes back. He's like, Austin, you got a girlfriend now. I'm like, what? Turn back to look at her, and she's just smiling and waving at me. I was like, okay. Okay.
I didn't know it was that easy.
I know. Well, why don't you guys ask out girls for me, huh? It's that easy. All right, so this was fun.
Wait, recap.
So
we started off with
annoying customers
Customers.
and middle school.
No. Annoying customers, high school.
Oh, we
Little
did.
high
Yeah, we
school,
a little bit of
meeting-
high school.
Meeting
Middle
each other.
school.
Yeah,
Uh,
and middle school. Yeah,
bit about games ish.
yeah.
Little
Not
games.
just about how we met though. Not
Yeah.
really. Nothing too much. Yeah.
This felt like a short episode in person. Like we didn't talk about that many different topics, but probably turns out to a lot more than.
Yeah, it's been
we
an
think.
hour.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. If you made it this far,
Episode 3.
Episode 3. Oh, also, I'll say this before we go. So, if people keep watching and, we get, like, bigger or whatever, we're going to probably add more people. Not so much maybe to the podcast, but just more to the channel. So,
More content.
Yeah, more content. So, if you guys watch, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have guests soon on podcast.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. Bye.
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 Thanks for watching.